Welcome to Posting Black. My name is David Hunter Jr. and today's episode we are so happy to have Ashley Liggins. How you doing, Miss Liggins?
I'm lovely. Happy
Doing
to be here.
Oh, happy to be here. That's good. That's good. Now, before we always start our show, we like to just do a little icebreaker.
All right.
Ease on into a little bit.
All right.
The question that has been going on for a while might have been answered already, but the question is, Popeyes or Chick-fil-A? Uh-oh. Have you had?
I have not had the Popeyes chicken sandwich.
Okay.
The reason being is it just got too crazy. It was just too hyped, and I was like,
Yeah.
The line is always long. I'm just not pressed. But I mean, Popeyes does have good chicken. But I used to work at a Chick-fil-A, and I'm very partial to Chick-fil-A.
Okay, loyal to the soil.
I am.
Right.
You know, they do good business. I like their food.
Yeah.
I don't know which one is better because I haven't had the sandwich.
Yeah.
But I would say Popeyes, I'm sure, has a little more spice, a little more flavor, I'm sure.
Well, we know we're not promoting nothing out here on Posting Black or anything, but you know, I just went to a spot recently here in LA, Howlin' Rays. Lord. And I'm talking about LAWD. Exclamatory sentence, y'all. Howlin' Rays. It's like over a 2-hour wait. I don't wait. Okay. But that right there was powerful.
This is a chicken place.
A chicken place.
All right.
Crazy. The sandwiches was
slamming. All right.
Slamming.
Here we go.
But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about you. So this is Posting Black here to highlight people, Black excellence behind the lens. Tell the people a little bit about yourself and share with us how you got into what you're doing here in the industry.
Well, how I got into the industry is for my illustrious Hampton University network.
Graduated. Hampton in the building. We out here.
You know. Graduated 2015. I had a professor who was like, hey, you know, is somebody working on Team Mom? They're looking for people. Like, let me know if you're interested. Okay. Send my resume, did an interview, got the job, and I had about 2 weeks to move to New York.
Wow.
From Virginia, right after I graduated.
Wow.
And so that was post-production. I was a transcriber overnight, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. It was rough. Rough. You know, especially being in New York. I didn't know anybody. I'm getting on the train at 5, 6 in the morning.
Because where are you from?
I'm originally from Michigan.
Okay. So was that a big switch? Like you're in Virginia and now you're going all the way up to New York.
It was ridiculously different. It was so crazy, especially working overnight. You know what I mean? Yeah. I wasn't kicking nobody, I had no friends. I was by myself. I didn't have any family out there, but I went to work and went home. And I figured it out. And then it just so happened that my professor who referred me to it, her nephew worked there.
Really?
So that ended up being one of my friends.
A little connect. Okay. And that made things a little bit easier. So
it made it much easier.
Okay. How long were you out in New York?
4 years. 2015 to 2019.
Okay.
Yep.
And what was the experience like working there? Because you go in kind of, you know, that's the first gig right out of college.
Right.
It's green. You're talking about not knowing anybody. Then you're in New York. Like all these factors. That can be kind of heavy. So how was it adjusting to the schedule and the work schedule and everything?
It was very difficult. Like when I tell you, I would come home, I would get home maybe 6 in the morning, and I could probably sleep all day.
Wow.
You know, I just wasn't used to it. I could literally sleep all day. I would get up at 5 p.m., make me something to eat, and then I'd be on a train by 8 because it took me like an hour to get to work.
Okay. What part of town in New York were you staying in?
I was living in Brownsville, New Lots, last stop on the 3 train.
Okay.
And I didn't know apparently that's the Higgity Hood. I did not know that. Okay. But it was a good price. The landlord was nice.
Yeah.
And
because you didn't really get a chance to just adjust. It was like quick, I'll be there.
Yep.
Now, what was your job situation like? What was your title? What were some of the things you're doing? Because overnight,
it was
that's a lot.
So basically, I was a transcriber, meaning you go in, you watch the footage, and you type every single word they say.
My goodness.
That was my first job. So, you know, you would go through, kind of log different spots in Avid just to say like, okay, this is where I started, this is where I stopped.
Right.
But then you would have to type in everybody's name, the time codes, and they gave you like different prompts on how they want you to do it because every company does it a little different. And you would get your assignment and you got to finish it.
Really?
So if I didn't get done by 5 a.m., I was working.
You were staying there a little bit longer.
I was staying a little longer.
How often did that happen?
In the beginning, it happened a lot. I was knocked out at work. Me and Will was my professor's nephew. We was knocked out. We'd be in there asleep.
Yeah.
But once you get the hang of it, I would leave early. I was leaving early after a while because you would get used to how to write it and what these people say. And there's some stuff that you can jump over. Like, you don't need every and and but, you know.
You figure that out after a while.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So it got to be easier, and I had some tips from like, you know, another girl who was there for a very long time. She would come in and work like 4 hours.
Wow.
And be out.
Okay.
So after a while, you do it, you get used to it, you get it done.
Yeah, you get it done. I like that. Now, we're talking about Hampton University preparing you. A lot of times people talk about their training, or some people have schooling. How was it like preparing? Did you always know this was something you wanted to do even before you went to college? Or was it something that you fell into being at Hampton?
Okay.
What led you to kind of make this job? Like, I really like this part of the industry, or fashion, this skill. What made you choose that path?
Well, I went to Hampton as a public relations major.
Okay.
I always loved TV. I can watch TV all day.
Yeah.
But I didn't really know what that looked like, what that really meant. And the Hampton's program was more so based on news. So I did all the news stuff. I directed the newscast, but I was like, I just want to do different content. So I took a couple of film classes. We had like 2. Took both.
I was there too.
I took both, and I was just like, well, once I got that job, then I could kind of see what it meant, because I didn't know what post-production was. I didn't know the difference between scripted and unscripted. I didn't understand the difference. Right. So once I started working is when I learned it. But of course, you have the skills of being on time and what to wear to work and how to talk to people. I got those type of skills, but it's some stuff college just, no matter what, does not teach you. No matter what. Yeah, that's real. Especially about television and film. You just can't.
So to some people that may say, we went to HBCUs, and sometimes they say, oh, HBCU, way they teach may be different from a PWI.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with that. It was just more so about, this is a life skill that I'm going to learn on the job experience. You can't learn it in the classroom, right?
There's some schools where you can learn certain things in the classroom.
Right, okay.
I wouldn't say doing a post-production job is one of those things. Okay, you can learn how to edit and all that, but you can't learn how they're going to want you to do it. And they don't necessarily... We learned Final Cut Pro. Every job had Avid. Every job was Avid.
You know what? Switch.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's stuff that you're not going to know because you don't necessarily know the industry standards. You don't know what they're going to do in New York versus California versus Atlanta. So there was just certain stuff, it's certain stuff you can't learn in the classroom, although there are some PWIs who have a few advantages.
A little bit more cash flow coming in. We're fortunate at Hampton. We have some money in an endowment, but obviously, you compete with USC or something like that.
Right.
A little bit more money.
It's more money. It's more connections. It's more stuff that I learned 3 years after college that I see interns doing. Right. And I'm like,
you playing catch up a little bit.
Right.
But you saving face, you're just kind of moving along.
I'm not an intern anymore.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
But I would have loved to have done certain jobs.
Got you. So you talk about having some of the relationships or something like that. Your teacher kind of steered you, professor steered you to that. They were professional in the industry working, or they just had a connection and they knew they wanted to send you that way. How did that go about?
So she in particular, Professor Vandora.
Shout her out, Hampton. What up?
She worked in the industry. She had like a really big documentary on PBS. She's done some things in the industry, but this in particular, this girl Brittany, who I did the interview with, went to Hampton.
Oh wow!
And she was a producer on Teen Mom.
See.
And so she just acts like any Hamptonians needed, and I don't know how many people applied. I don't know what the deal was, but all I know is I got the job.
That is fine. So, now having someone like that over top of you to kind of guide you along. Were there any things that she kind of gave you a little heads up on, or were you able to lean on that a little bit? Not to put her out there or under the bus, but it's one of those things. You get in the door. Sometimes it's like you're always learning on your own.
Right.
Especially being a young black woman. Was there anybody else that looked like you besides Tiffany? You said her name was
Brittany.
Brittany, yeah, Brittany. Besides Brittany, was there anybody else there where you're like, okay, maybe I can lean on them when things get a little tough?
So this one was a little different because of the show. I mean, it's a huge show, but the post-production house was very small. There was 3 producers and there was 3 transcribers, and we did not work at the same time.
Wow.
So they would get off at 7 and we would come in at 9. And we all use the same computers.
Wow.
So I never even worked with her.
Wow.
Never worked with her. I seen her maybe twice. Hey, let's get lunch, whatever. Didn't happen.
Yeah.
Whatever. I was happy to have the job. Right. But that was about it. It wasn't a lot of people there. Wasn't a lot of guidance. Granted, like, if I didn't finish something, she'd email me and be like, look, you actually got to finish this amount. And it would be that kind of heads up. But we never got to really work directly just because it was
sometimes
super
though,
small.
that part right there is just good enough.
Exactly.
At least let you know, hey, you in here, just, heads up, I want to do this a little bit.
Right.
So now you're in New York, you didn't stay particularly long, you're saying, at this job. What was the transition like for you? Was it just the workload? Was it the schedule? Or did you find a better opportunity?
All of the above. Basically, I'm sure as you know, when you work in television, they're contract jobs. So I went out there for a 3-month job. I was like, hey, I'm in the industry. So it was supposed to be originally 3 months. And then she had emailed me, we think we're going to renew, but we're not sure. Look for jobs, just in case. Yeah. So I looked for jobs. I got renewed once. And then after that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to just look for something that's a little more permanent. And so I actually found it on Craigslist.
Wow.
Another job, working as quality control. And literally, I watch movies and TVs all day. And you would kind of go through, make sure there was no glitches.
Yeah, explain to the people quality control. Because right now, this may be a platform where somebody's looking at this and wants to get into post-production.
That's true.
And what you're doing, but they don't necessarily know.
That's true.
So, tell the people, what's quality control? What we doing?
Quality control, basically, I did it for Comcast, on demand, that kind of stuff. And so it's basically where you go through and just make sure there's no glitches in what you're watching, to make sure like certain things, they'll give you things to look for. Like we need this type of, they call it metadata. And so if the numbers are off, then that means it's going to play wrong. Okay. If the size is off, it's going to play wrong.
Like it's just going to be too wide for the screen,
right.
And formatting, or just like a glitch in somebody's character, like whatever the sound or something's off. You're looking for everything.
You're looking for all that.
Wow.
And so it depends on some of the stuff, you would look in the beginning, the middle, and end, and you have to watch like 2 minutes to 30 seconds, just depending on how long it was. And there was some where if you caught something, you have to watch it long enough to figure out the differences. Okay. So there would be some stuff like, oh, this part of the thing played twice. Like the exact same piece would play twice.
Wow.
And nobody caught it. So that's our job to catch
you're like you're the filter at the end. It can't get past you.
Basically.
Gotcha.
So you would fill out the reports. If everything was good, you pass it into your boss. If it wasn't, you would go to this other department. These are the glitches, and then they would let you know when it was okay to like review again to make sure it was right.
That's a heavy job. Did you feel any pressure from that? Because you're like, oh man, everybody's depending on me. If something slides and gets past, they like, yo, you didn't see that?
Right.
We got to go back and check over top of you, like.
I guess now that you say that, I guess it was kind of a big deal. But when we were there, my boss was really cool. And actually, I worked with a good amount of Black people in that job.
That's awesome.
It was a good amount. One of the girls that I'm still really good friends with to this day, I met her there. But they were very cool. They were very nice. They explained, like, this is what you do. And they were one of the few places that's like, this is not the end of the world. People who work in TV be like, oh. Yeah. We're changing lives.
Right.
You're not. Yeah. That's just the the nature of TV. So they were very nice. They were very cool. This is what we're doing. This is what you have to do. And we just got it done. It was not super stressful. It wasn't. It was good.
So bringing it up to current day, you're in New York.
Yeah.
Now we are here in Los Angeles, California, West Coast.
Yes.
You know what I mean? How did you come out here? What brought you out here? And obviously, you're kind of new to LA.
Yes.
So talk about that transition.
So I had done post-production basically from 2015 to 2017, basically 2 to 3 years, in New York. And my biggest show was Verse 48. Did that for almost 2 years. Man, you did a great job with whatever you were doing on that show. Appreciate it. Would be up on. I'm telling you, I'm watching that thing left and right. Like Cincinnati, Ohio. Man, it's crazy out there from what I see. Just on that show. It is.
I love you, Cincy. I love y'all.
And I did that for a while, and I was just kind of like, I want to try scripted. Okay. I want to try something different. I want to see what I can do. And somebody connected me with somebody from Power. Never got the job. But I just kind of kept in contact with them and other people, and I ended up getting on When They See Us. Okay. As a production assistant. Oh. So mind you, I had been working in post-production in reality for 2.5, 3 years. Right. As a producer, associate producer. Yeah. So I went back down to a PA to get into scripted.
Hey, but here's the thing. You just say, I didn't get on Power, but I got on When They See It.
Okay.
That's not a bad,
it ain't a bad flex.
It ain't a bad flex at all.
So I did that, and I did a couple other scripted shows. In my last scripted show, I was on kind of like the writer's team. I was a script coordinator, and I met a lot of those people come from California. Right. And so I told this guy, this is what I'm trying to do. I need to do this job, but they're only in LA. Right. Development, writing, all that stuff is only in LA. Okay. So. Gotcha. He sent me a few jobs. I applied. I got it.
Got it. Okay. So what are you doing right now?
So right now I'm working at Chris Morgan Productions. Chris Morgan is a guy who does Fast and Furious. Yeah. And he did Hobbs and Shaw. That was his baby. Okay. And so I am basically an assistant at the company. Yeah. It's a development company. We read scripts. We set up pitch meetings, and we have a deal with Sony and NBC. Wow. So we kind of set up those meetings when they're going out to meet with them, and whatever was read, they'll be like, oh, hey, we love this. We want to pitch it. We want to buy it, that kind of stuff. And so that's what I do now.
So that's pretty amazing. You're talking about a transition from being in Hampton, you know, going to New York, having that teen mom, having that aspect, working overnight, and just making some connections, being on When They See Us. And now you're in LA, starting with a development company who's doing some pretty big things.
Doing a few things.
You know what I mean? So what is your end goal? Because obviously you're starting in post.
Yeah.
Somebody looking at this may say, well, I don't want to get into it, but do you feel like it's a way to get your foot in the door, kind of find out your way, or now you know all facets of the industry, so it's helping you better at what you're doing now?
I think starting in post-production was a great place to be.
Okay.
I learned a lot, and I understand more about production because, you know, everybody's like, when you don't do post,
right?
What's the first thing people say? Fix it in post.
Yeah.
When they're filming, we'll fix it in post. And so I can be like, no, you can't fix that in post.
Yeah, because some people don't even know what they talk about fixing post. That's a joke. It's the same.
Yeah,
but you're like, nah, we can't fix this.
You can't fix everything in post.
Right.
You got to film it right. So I definitely feel like it helped me, you know, doing independent projects. It helped. It helped just kind of working on set and being like, y'all sure y'all want to, you know, when I was a script coordinator and I would see certain things on set. So it was definitely helpful. I met a lot of good friends there. In post-production, them jobs last.
Yes, they do.
They last so much longer.
Yes, they do.
Than production.
Yeah.
So much longer.
Now, being out here, I would say this, you know, you said you did get to work with a lot of people of color, some black people out there. How's the transition been here in LA? You know, have you noticed I mean, you gave me that look, you did real talk, you know, has there been anybody that you've been able to connect to out here? And what do you feel like the industry is trending towards as we keep moving?
At my job, I'm the only black person. Granted, it's only 5 of us.
Yeah.
I am still looking for all the avenues because I know there's Black Hollywood. I'm working to find it. You know, I haven't gotten there yet. I'll definitely say Color Associates is a group that I just got into.
Okay.
And they do a lot of great things.
Color Associates, that's just based in LA?
I think they do have a few things in New York, but not a lot. It's mainly a LA thing, and I heard about it when I came out here a couple years ago for an interview that I didn't get.
Okay.
And so it's a lot of black people in there, and I mean, it's all black people, it's Color Associates. Yeah. And basically, it's everybody, even to get into it, you have to have a job in a certain field. And you have to be qualified.
Yeah, you gotta be qualified to get in.
Yeah, and so I just started in that, and you know, I just know that they do great events, they put on a lot of events, they do a lot of networking things, they post jobs and things of that nature. And also, shout out to Hillman Grad Network, Lena Waves Company, love them dearly. And so I've been a part of their network for a long time. And so they'll post opportunities and events and stuff like that. So I'm trying to go out and meet other people and stay connected in that way.
Yeah, that's dope. So, you know, we're not going to keep you all day, but we just want to find out a little bit more. What do you feel like your end goal would be? And then what is something that you're proud of you working on now? Where can people find you?
So end goal, I would definitely say to be an executive producer, to be a creative executive, and to be able to take our projects and actually get them made. The hardest part about it is we have a lot of content, but it's not getting put on the mainstream. It's not on the big scales. Everybody's like, I'll just do YouTube. I'll just do whatever. And we can be on those bigger levels, but there's not a lot of us. There's not a lot of executives that are people of color. There's not a lot of creative executives. There's not a lot of executive producers who can actually take that and make it into something. Because literally what I'm doing at work is reading scripts, and if they like them, they're selling them. That's what you do. And a lot of these agents, you know, they don't have a diverse clientele, so we're getting the same kind of products from the same kind of people. You know, and that's everywhere. So, you know, my goal is to be able to figure out a way to funnel in more talent of color, more diverse things. So
it's almost like I feel like you can, you know, being at your position now, you know, I can get some black editors, we can get cinematographer, you can make this whole thing, and not just hiring your friends, hiring people who are qualified to do the job. Because I think that's where we miss the mark a lot of times too. We just want to hire our people, but they're not good, they're not qualified, and we're afraid to tell people that it's not.
That's so true.
I'm just trying to be real. Like,
no, you're right.
Know, it's got to be good. My boy, just because you're black, I'm not going to say your work was good. The sound is terrible. The script makes no sense. And that just needs to be said. But okay, so what can people find you working on now? I know you did development, reading scripts. What else is going on?
I just worked on a short film called Saving Aunt Mimi, actually with one of the young ladies I met at another job.
Okay.
And that's
called Saving what again?
Saving Aunt Mimi.
Saving Aunt Mimi.
It's a drama about mental health.
Okay.
And that'll be coming out in March.
All right.
So looking forward to that. Otherwise, I'm just trying to figure out what my passion project is going to be for this year. And just putting out more stuff. Otherwise, like, just expect me to be connecting and moving and shaking. I'm trying to get people together and to actually have things happen. Like if I see a job, if I see opportunity, if I see somebody who can submit a script, that's what I'm doing. Here you go. I know they can do this. I know they can do that. Blah blah blah. And just trying to get people into it, because that's the biggest part. When you're in it, you're good. But a lot of us have a hard time getting into it.
Getting in it. We don't even know what way to get into it.
Exactly.
I'm gonna ask you one more thing before we let you go out of here. As far as the post production now here in LA, is there any place that you know people could look to get into if they're trying to get into that? Where should they look? Because a lot of times we're introducing a new concept to people, post production. Yeah. Sometimes they don't even know what it is, and now that they know, where do they start? So what would you recommend for somebody starting and trying to get in it?
Post production. Here's the crazy thing. Facebook. Yeah. I feel like people are like, oh, I'm never on Facebook. I've got jobs working at Netflix off of Facebook. Bro. In production, in post production, stuff like that. So there's a lot of Facebook groups that you can join that has these jobs, and they're posting them daily. What else? I mean, Staff Me Up is cool, but I feel like you just kind of need to pay for it to actually get some stuff. And I would say go to events. When I first moved to New York, I didn't know anybody. I signed up for an event and I just went. And I met so many people who helped me get jobs later on. Yeah. So just showing up and being like, oh, this is what I want to do, and manifesting. When you don't tell nobody what you want to do, you ain't gonna get the job. I literally told somebody that randomly, like, oh, this is what I want to do. And they hit me up like 3 months later. Oh, did you still want to?
Because you know.
Because I told them. Yeah. So that is like telling people what you want to do. Looking up in unexpected places. Like I said, I got a job from Craigslist. Yeah. Looking in unexpected places. Like, I feel like, and also networking across. People always want to be like, let me hit up the president of ABC. They're not about to give me no job. Yeah. The people that are going to give you the job are the PAs who are leaving and they know their job is open. Yeah. You know, a production assistant, people who are lower who can tell you like, I'm leaving tomorrow. Right. You need a job tomorrow? Let's get it. Those are the type of people, and those are the way to find the jobs.
Man. I love you. Y'all don't realize what we just got right here. This is another TED Talk with the one and only. Now, tell the people where they can find you, social media, anything where you want them to hit you up, follow you, all that fun stuff.
Look me up. I'm on Instagram, produced by Ash, 2 H's. Facebook, I'm just Ashley Liggins. But yeah, add me on there. I put people into a lot of different groups, like private groups that have job postings. But that's about it. I'm around. Hit me up. I respond. I'm on LinkedIn.
Hey, y'all heard her. She said she out here.
I'm out here.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you again so much, Ashley, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Hampton University in the building. We out here, girl.
The illustrious.
Yes, that's the illustrious. You know, standard of excellence. I'm sorry. I'm going to get off that. That's still up on right now. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to Post of Black. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We'll see you next time. Peace.